Hey everyone, welcome to Teaching Tuesday. Today I'm going to talk about RSVP cards. Last week we talked about invitations and the wording that goes into it. Lots of information that I went over, and if you did not catch it, you can visit our YouTube channel and find those videos there. But today is the RSVP card. You think, oh, simple card, your guests telling you if they're coming or not. But there's a lot of information that can go into it, so I'm going to go start simple, and then I'm going to kind of go with all the different options. So the most important part, and I'll just show you a very traditional one, the most important part about an RSVP card is you're asking your guest for their reply. A favor of your reply is requested by a certain date. That date is usually 3 to 4 weeks before your ceremony. If you're having a destination wedding or your venue is just requesting it really far ahead of time, that might change, but usually a rule of thumb is about a month before. There's always a line for your guest names, an M. This one is very traditional. If you have an M, you just write in your names, the guest names, and then happily accepts, regretfully declines. There's all different kinds of options for that wording. Those are the most important things to go on a card. Actually, the history of the RSVP cards is they were actually blank and people wrote in their own messages, but I wouldn't suggest doing that right now, as a lot of people in the younger generation don't know that rule. Here's another one, again, very elegant, traditional. Here you'll see an extra line, number will attend. You can add that line if you want. Some couples worry that that opens it up to their guests just putting in however many people they want. So if you have a wedding planner, talk to them, shoot us a message, we can give you some more advice on that. Another way to indicate names of your guests, if you don't want to have that M right here, is just putting that word name, put in parentheses an S, because if there's more than one person invited. And again, asking for the date and who to reply back to. On top of that, just kind of going off of the worrying about people inviting more guests than is on your envelope, you can always add a line. We have reserved, can you see that all right? We have reserved 1 seat in your honor, and we can print that into 2 seats, 3 seats, 4 seats. It makes it very clear to your guests how many people are invited. It used to be the rule was whoever was on the inner envelope, but so many of our couples aren't even doing inner envelopes anymore. So that's a great way to put on your RSVP card how many people you're inviting. Let's see. I wanted to just show you a couple of different ones before getting in. We've got some real modern ones that are kind of fun. Join us, so it doesn't always have to be RSVP or kindly reply. This is a real cute, fun one, yes or no. You can have fun there. There's just a real pretty simple RSVP and accepts, declines. As far as who the RSVPs go back to, that's also up in the air. Traditionally, it was always the bride's parents. Nowadays, anything goes. It's totally fine if the invitations are coming from your parents, but you want the RSVPs to come back to you. So here's an example of an RSVP card where it's coming back to the parent's address. Totally fine. But for this one, the RSVP is coming back to the couple, okay? So that's totally fine. However you want it to be works. Here's one, I'm gonna show you an RSVP card that actually has an entree selection. So if you are choosing or letting your guests choose the entrees, so beef, chicken, fish, vegetarian, the RSVP card is the place where that goes. So you still have your kindly respond, you still ask for a date for them to reply back. You have a line for their names, accepts, declines, and then underneath you can have a place asking, please, we suggest to ask for their initials. Please initial your entree selection. And then you leave a place for them to initial that. Reason being, if you just get a bunch of check marks, you don't know if Bob has fish or if Sarah has beef. And so if you ask for their initials, then you at least know who is getting what entree. I will say, not everybody listens. There's always gonna be a handful you're gonna have to call because they don't follow instructions. Here's another one where we did, will you be celebrating with us? And we actually did 2 lines for each guest for them to fill their name out and then check if they're having beef, fish, or chicken, so we know the guest's name and their entree selection. Just another option, another idea. All right, so now I'm gonna go into if you have multiple events. So a lot of people are doing welcome dinners and then they're doing brunches on Sunday. If you have something like that, you can include different inserts within the invitation and you can collect all of your RSVPs back for each event. So this one, we've got the rehearsal dinner and welcome party, asking for people to accept or decline. Then we've got the ceremony and reception, and then we have the Sunday brunch. Hope you guys can see that. So all of this is housed on the RSVP card, and you have that one card, and it lets your guests check off to what events they're going to. If you're only having one, it can be more simple, like this cute one is just kindly respond. They had a little join us for brunch in their invitation, and they had the details on the brunch card, and then just down here they had Sunday brunch added. So that's a good one. And then lastly, we have a lot of couples who are doing replying, especially right now with the virus, who are replying to their website. This is a card that has just a whole lot of information. We've got RSVP design on the back, and then the join us, and they actually gave their guests an option. They sent an RSVP card and said, you can let us know by RSVP card, or please go to our website and RSVP there. And you'll see they already put that we have reserved 2 seats. So they are using this card and they are putting everything on it, which is totally fine to do as well. You can use these cards for however you need them to work for you. Online RSVPs, I would say maybe 10% of couples are doing it. I say give it another couple of years, especially after this virus, and things are gonna be moving in that direction to RSVP on websites. It's easier, you're not paying for a stamp and an envelope, and you know, the younger generation just works better on online. So that's my spiel for RSVP cards. This is a really cute RSVP envelope. I love that one. That went with this. I just love it. So you could do something really fun and do your monogram and then just the reply address. Okay, I could go on forever about RSVP cards. Have a good week.